I'm Herb Lawrence from CHGO White Sox.
And I'm Luke Stuckmeyer from CHGO Cubs.
And this is CHGO Tavern Style. It's presented to you by Salerno's Pizza. Head on over to the Grand Avenue location or call 312-666-3444 to make a reservation today. And today we're on the other side of the first series, the Crosstown Classic series, won both by the score of 7-6 by the Cubs. But Luke, the thing about the Crosstown Classic series, every single year, Cub fans mostly feign like I don't really care about this series.
Yeah.
It's the White Sox World Series. But every single time I go to Wrigley Field or I go to Guaranteed Rate Field, the places are electric. The places are great. What would you say are the best things about this Crosstown Classic series that you love?
I love the games, and I do love the passion on both sides. I don't care for it necessarily when it gets out of control, but I think it's a different game in the middle of a long season, right?
Yeah.
And you can sit there, if you're an intelligent person, you can sit there with your buddy that's the opposite fan and have a great time back and forth. We've done it 2 years in a row at Wrigley Field.
Correct.
And had a really good time. For me, it's the memories.
Mm-hmm.
The memories are what make it great. The memories of Michael Jordan getting a double at Wrigley Field when it didn't really count. The memories of Aramis Ramirez walking it off and the only red shirt in the whole ballpark was Chuck Garfien wearing our Comcast Sportsnet shirt with his head hanging down and everybody else standing like this on the front page of the Sun-Times. It's all the walk-offs. It's the Hawk Harrelson saying, "You're damn right. We're going to protest that."
Yeah.
There's been many, many great moments. And for me, these first two games, even though the Sox were on the wrong side of it, both teams had some of those moments that they won't forget.
I mean, think about all the things that happened leading up to that series. The Cubs had lost like 6 series in a row. We're reeling, and I'm hearing you and Cody, well, not mostly Cody, talking about this is the worst team of baseball. Yeah. I hate this team. And during the game, the White Sox are winning 5-0 when we went on Tuesday. Cody is lamenting this. A lot of Cub fans are feeling this way. The White Sox, of course, are the worst team in baseball with only 15 wins. But that series gets everybody up. It doesn't matter. They literally throw the records out. You do not care about the records because if the White Sox won one of those games, it would have been euphoric for me as a White Sox fan. And I know it would have been destitute for Cody because he takes those losses really hard. Stop on by Salerno's on Tap, located on 1201 West Grand Avenue in Chicago's West Town, and enjoy our tavern-style pizza and ice-cold beers. Whether you're headed to the game, want to watch on our live TVs on our big screens, or watching from home, we got you covered. Go to salernospizza.com or call 312-666-3444. Mention CHGO and get half off of your pizza. Head on over to Salerno's Pizza or call 312-666-3444 for more information. Mention CHGO and get half off.
What a deal.
Of your pizza.
Half off. You're right, though. The Sox fans at the beginning of the game, we had our takeover, high-fiving. It's the most excited a Sox fan will be all season long, right?
Yeah.
It was the most fun you'll have this year.
I always have a great time at the ballpark. We had a great time at our own White Sox takeover versus the Toronto Blue Jays, but there's nothing like Cubs Sox. Every year, we went to one last year.
Can I butt in real quick?
Yeah,
I will have to disagree because Luke is wrong. When Corey Lee represents the American League as the starting catcher, that will be my proudest moment. So
my
second
bad. The second best moment will be the 5-0 lead.
And I know people out there like, what are you guys talking about? We don't care about that. We're Cub fans. We don't care about that.
They're lying. Everybody's lying.
Exactly. Because if you look at the attendance for both teams, the highest attended game this year for the Cubs is not the Cubs-Sox one. It's a Dodgers game on a Saturday evening. Then there's a Saturday evening Milwaukee Brewers game. The third one is a Wednesday night game versus the worst team in baseball, the Chicago White Sox. And last year, the highest attended game at Wrigley Field was the Crosstown Classic game that we were at, where the Christopher Morel walk-off. The highest attended games last year for the White Sox, both of the Crosstown Classic games. So you're fronting if you say that you don't give a damn because the attendance records say so, and every single time that we're in those buildings, you feel the electricity. You feel what's going on. When we were at that ballpark on Tuesday, I knew at 5-0 the game wasn't over. I said the same thing to Cody last year when we're at Guaranteed Rate Field. The White Sox were up 7-2. I think it was in the second inning. It's never over until it's over because those teams somehow just take it to the next level. And so the worst thing for me is that we only get 4 a year. That seems like we're getting cheated out of more exciting baseball in this town. And then, we haven't been to the playoffs in a while for the White Sox and the Cubs. Didn't go last year. We need more exciting baseball because we're not going to see postseason action at all, Luke.
You know what the negative for me is about it? If there is one, I agree. I'd like to actually see more of them. I wish they were in the same division. I still wish Hawk was calling the games just for that series. Just bring him back for that series. He was so out of his mind for those games because of his anger and hate for the Cubs that it made it enjoyable on both sides of town.
If there is some expansion and it does somehow consolidate the Cubs and Sox into the same division, would you welcome that, or is 6 enough? Like, is 13 too much? 4 is too little? Is 6 like the perfect spot?
It'd probably water it down a little bit.
I think them both in the Central would not only water it down, but I also think that it would make it unbearable. I think 13 is too much.
Absolutely not. There was no rivalry between the Cubs and Brewers before the Brewers moved up to the NL. None at all. The White Sox hated the Brewers.
That's right.
With Scrap Iron Phil Garner. That's Hawk who hated the Brewers at that time. And now I have great feelings towards the Brewers. I love going up to that ballpark. Those people are great. If the White Sox went into the Cubs division, we would absolutely detest the Cubs. I don't hate the Cubs right now. I am only a Cub hater when they play each other. But when they don't, I'm like, hey, go ahead, Cubs, do your thing. But if they played in the same division for the same crown, I'm like, F you, Cub fans. Get me out of there. 13 games would be perfect for that series. I would love it so much.
I do wish that the players disliked each other a little bit more. I think when you go back to the 05 White Sox team and the guys behind like AJ and those guys, they genuinely, like Ozzie, did not like the Cubs. And it fueled that rivalry even more when that's how you end up with the Barrett Brzezinski moment, which I still say is better than any of the walk-offs.
I will say Jose Abreu is second all-time in White Sox home runs versus the Cubs.
Yeah.
Luis Robert Jr.'s numbers versus the Cubs are very, very exciting, and Eloy Jimenez has done very well against his old team. So I think there's still a little bit of that in there, and Nick Madrigal probably wants to prove the White Sox wrong, but he's in Iowa, right?
Well, he just broke his hand.
Oh, no.
Just broke his hand. But to remember, I did call the Madrigal homer last year.
And that was terrible. I hated it. It was one of the worst things. And I know you yearn for more Hawk, and he does
not just for the Crosstown.
But he doesn't want to go in that stadium. He said you couldn't pay him $50,000 to go in that place.
Yeah, he's also fun if he said that because he would take the cash.
But you know who's getting there? Your man John Striffen. Last night, got to hear that damn song again, which I hate that song too. So he kind of endeared himself to me finally because he hates Go Cubs Go, and every White Sox fan hates Go Cubs Go because it's a terrible song, Luke.
I'm not saying it's a great song.
But
it's fun.
I think it's cute and fun.
It's fun.
I don't hate it.
It's better than the tradition most teams don't even have a tradition. I used to love when the White Sox used to do na 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 na. Whatever happened to that?
Nancy Faust retired, or they
that
rushed her out, and now they don't do it anymore.
I went to Sox fans as a kid. That was when the pitcher went out. That was my favorite part of the game.
I'm sure they still do it at games, but there's very seldom times that the White Sox force the other team to move their pitcher, especially this year. So this has been CHGO Tavern Style. I want more White Sox Cubs games. Make it happen, Rob Manfred.
We all silly like the mayor.